CCFC Mando says 5 wins, 1 draw in 6 games, top of the league. BBM and Nathan Trott, you rock my world. Welcome back to 20 minutes of Cardiff City chat. My name is Mark Neutral, and we have gathered a select group of Bluebirds to talk about that win away at Luton Town. Hope you are all doing well. Who'd have thought? Coming up this week, we are talking about Nathan Trott and the brilliance of the Chris Willock redemption arc, and of course our transfer wish list. What money we've got left? What can it be spent on this week as the transfer window closes? Plus, is the current away kit in your top 3 or bottom 3? Can it beat this monstrosity as one of the most worst Cardiff away kits of all time? We'll get the panel's view on that very shortly. But delighted to have back with us Jamie Anderson. How are you, Jamie? Who travels the whole country following the Bluebirds. Yeah, all good back from Luton, safe and sound, yeah?
All good, mate, and even better with 3 points, isn't it?
Absolutely. And of course, delighted to have 3 royalties of Cardiff City Twitter in Ellis Jones, Craig Mellor, and of course Connor with us as well. We'll get to you 3 in a second. Thanks for being along with us. But Jamie, let's talk Mr. Trott, shall we? Wow.
I think we've been crying out for a quality goalkeeper for probably a number of years. I personally would say at this early stage he's just as good as one of my favourites in David Marshall. I mean, he kept us in the game at vital points. And when your attackers aren't finishing the opportunities they get, you need your goalkeeper to keep the opportunities out the other end, and he certainly did that. And I think a Luton fan described him as having 8 arms, and he was going to ring the RSPCA or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Goal. And it's another clean sheet. I mean, it was a very rare thing for us last year.
We do a Luton Town podcast, and as you know, because they were there last year, and I've already spoke to them, and they said Cardiff will go up this season, that you are the best team that they've played so far, and we're full credit to your goalkeeper as well. Brilliant. Right, Ellis, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thanks for giving your views. Honestly, are you as surprised that you are doing so well with this youthful side as you are?
I think, before the season started, I was kind of half and half. When we went down, we all thought, we go straight back up, and we're all hopeful. But I think there was always that uncertainty, wasn't there, kind of lingering over us when we went down, just because of the fashion that we went down, finishing bottom of the Championship. Both Plymouth and Luton, finished above us in the Championship last season. But no, I think after the first, 5 games, I think we're all really optimistic. And now I think that confidence has grown. I think a lot of us are more confident we'll go straight back up now.
Absolutely. Connor, who else impressed for you? We've talked about Trott, but who else needs some flowers on this week's episode for you?
Chris Willock. He had every on his shoulders after it. He comes across quite lazy sometimes. He likes to just dance around on the spot and then restart the whole play. But we know he can take on a man and drive in, and he finally done it. And with Tanner injured now, he's going to be there all the time, and he's shown he deserves to be there. So I'm buzzing for him.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. That was backed up here by Ned. Says, brilliant win. Nathan Trott was unreal, and I'm all in for the Chris Willock redemption. Really strong start for BBM. Do you agree, Craig, that the Chris Willock redemption arc is in full swing?
Yeah, definitely. Especially after last season and the first 2 games. Like Connor said, I thought not quite lazy and just doesn't put a shift in when things are not so going well. But yesterday, I was one of the ones who called him rotten, to be fair. But yesterday, he made me eat my words. It was nice to see him beating his man and putting good balls in, because he overhit a lot of crosses in the first few games. But it's nice to see him landing in the box, and hopefully now the goal will kick him on, and especially as Tanner's out, he'll have a bit of confidence from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers, all 3 of you. Back to you, Jamie, for this one. Ink Vendetta says, Chris Willock, you beauty. Outstanding performance. Bill Nathan Trott a statue. Blues are going up. Hello, LA. And Thomas says, effing class that, boys. Willock's best game for us too. Credit to him and BBM for that. Was it his best game for you so far?
Yeah. I mean, it was great to see, because I think, like the boys have alluded to there, it's the type of player he is. We know he's got flair and we know he's got talent, but we haven't seen it probably consistently enough, most certainly for the club. And it like I said, it frustrates us more than anything because we know there's a player there. We saw it at QPR quite often. But yesterday, what was good about the goal was it was his own doing. It was his own creation. It kind of, like you said there, it's redemption because the things that we probably have said that he doesn't do enough of, getting stuck in and stuff, he got stuck in, won the challenge, put Mark McGuinness on his backside and smashed it on his weaker foot. So, and it was nice to see him and all the players get behind him. And he got a nice round of applause from another sold out away end, may I add, with like 5 minutes to go. So credit to him.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some great pictures from the away ends this week, Alice. Of course, you were at Wimbledon as well. And if you saw I'm sure you saw the Swansea fan flying his flag in your face there. But some limbs at Wimbledon and again at Luton yesterday. This being an away supporter for Cardiff has been a pretty miserable time, hasn't it? Let's be fair. Certainly last season, but yeah, you enjoying this youthful Cardiff?
Yeah, it's a nice change in it from last year, going away and seeing these wins. And yeah, I didn't go to the Wimbledon game. I got a 5-month-old, so I think home games for me this season. Got to spend time with the baby. But yeah, they've been incredible seasons, and I think Brian Byron-Murphy, he's proper getting the most out of some players, isn't he? Like we've alluded to, Chris Willock. It's probably the best game we've seen him in a Cardiff top. And I'd say the same so far this season about David Turnbull. The last 2 seasons, I think I saw a stat that he'd had something like 2 assists in the last 2 seasons. And already this season, he's on 3. So I think, Brian Byron-Murphy's, the way he's playing is getting fans excited. And it's bringing that, real feel-good factor back, isn't it? Home and away.
Absolutely. One other shout-out that fans were keen to do this week, Connor, was this one. Hoof there it is, says, credit to CF11 Academy. The group of youngsters coming through right now are a credit to years and hard work. And of course, it's right, isn't it, Connor? It doesn't just happen overnight. This is about years of planning and getting the right coaches in. And now you're starting to see the fruits of all that hard work. Do you agree 100% with that?
A lot. There's other parts of the club that are doing so well. Obviously, the academy with them coming through now, but obviously the women's as well. I mean, is it a treble they've won? How many years on the trot now? 3, 2, something like that. The whole club around, all squads, young, women, men's, it all seems to be coming together, working, and it's really positive. I'm enjoying it quite a lot.
Okay. To the League Cup, of course, then we go next before we talk about Plymouth, Craig. I mean, is it fair to say priorities? You couldn't care less if you do get knocked out by Cheltenham the miss midweek, or is that being a bit harsh?
Yeah, maybe. I'd like to see us go through again, but probably I would have thought a few boys would be rested now because they have put a shift in away from home and all travelling up and down. But I'd still like to go through, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that big draw in the next round. Some more money in. Right, to Plymouth then, or Plymouth are visiting next. Tom Cleverley's in charge now, Jamie. They've had a dodgy start. They've just signed Port Vale's striker for $1.5 million, who should be starting for them in their game against you this weekend. Do you think there's a bigger gulf between you and them than perhaps it was in the Championship, or do you not see it that way?
I think it's too early to decide. I think they've had quite a lot of turnover of players, haven't they? New manager and stuff like that. I think we've just adapted to maybe our style of managing quite quickly. The striker that obviously they've just signed, he gave us a bit of hard work, didn't he, at Port Vale when we played them on the Thursday night. And hopefully now we've had 2 challenging away games against physical strikers. When we play him next Saturday, the likes of Dylan Lawler, Will Fish will probably cope with him a little bit better because, like I said, naturally in this league, you've got a bit of time with you probably just to transition and stuff. But again, Plymouth will bring a sold out away end. They always do. But part of me being greedy wants to see another drumming of them like we did last year when they came up on.
Yeah, and who'd have thought that was going to be a 6-pointer at the point it was. Right then. Brilliant results. So it's nice to see smiles on Cardiff fans' faces, isn't it? You've been through a proper mill, and I'm not even hearing any Vincent Tan out hashtags on Twitter anymore. Must have gone a bit quiet on that front, which leads us nicely into the week that's coming up then, Ellis, because of course transfer window closes on on Monday. What for you needs to happen in terms of we must keeps and we must gets?
Well, I think in terms of must keeps, I think, all Cardiff fans are probably on the same page. It's Yusuf Salek, it's the Ruben Colwills. Those two predominantly, I'd say they're two that you can really build a squad around. In terms of ins, obviously it's only been Nathan Trott in so far. There's a few whispers that Brian Murphy's been really particular on the profile of player he wants. But if Nathan Trott, being the quality that he is and what he's shown us, if that's anything to go by, then I'm happy for Brian Murphy to wait for those specific players and specific profiles to get them in, because Nathan Trott, he's been probably the best goalkeeper we've had in the last few years, and I think the last game has just proven that, really. I think he made something like 7 big saves. And like you alluded to, that comment on Twitter by one of the Luton fans, he's an octopus. He's got 8 arms. He'll keep it all out. But no, we all want more players in. I think Brian Murphy said that the Tanner injury isn't going to change his transfer plans, but I think a winger was already priority. Probably a centre back. I really like the pairing of Will Fish and Dylan Lola. But then behind them, then obviously club captain Callum Chambers. Outside of that, Perry Ng can slot in there, but he's not a centre-back by trade. So I think a centre-back and probably a defensive midfielder, even though I think Wintle, he's impressed me so far this season.
Okay. That turned into quite a long list there, Alice, when you Craig?
Always got a long list when it comes to transfers.
What's the top priority for you in terms of positions?
A winger, probably, especially with Tanner's injury. We're just crying out for pace. Like sheer pace. We got players who are quick, like Ashraf. I think just to get those 5-10 yards, just to get someone away. You can see Ruben and a few other midfielders are looking to knock a ball through, and we're lucky you just haven't got the 10-20 yards to get away. Rather than that, I'd love a centre half. I'm a sucker for an old head. I like experience. I'd like to have a Sean Morrison type in there, like who would put his head to a falling piano. And maybe a left back to cover big, and because as well as he's playing, if he has a knock, a bad injury, I think we might be struggling a left back.
Brilliant, Connor. For you, number one position would be
a winger again. I think with Wintle impressing, I think you just drop Chambers into that central defensive player rather than at centre back. I think much better there. There's an option. Midfield, we've got Alex Robertson coming back within the next few weeks, so I think we're all right there. A left back is definitely worth going for, but at the end of the day, it's quality over quantity. I'm not wanting 20 players in that's not going to improve us at all. I want certain that are going to boost us and get us to lift that title.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, gentlemen. It looks like Cardiff aren't going to be spending too long in this division, if all by all accounts. Fingers crossed, anyway. Let's have a look then, as we have been doing the last couple of weeks, at your views on the shirts. We did the home shirt last week. Let's look at the away shirt. Jamie, you've got your fair collection of these. Is this going in your top 3 or bottom 3 or somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere in the middle. At first, when I saw it, I thought it almost looked like a child that dropped paint onto something. But when you see it in person, I think it looks a bit better. Maybe it's just because we're playing good football that I think it looks all right. But yeah, it's definitely nowhere near the top. I wouldn't have it to the bottom because I think over the years we've had a fair share of terrible away kits. So somewhere in the middle for me.
Okay. Anyone really like it?
I can't decide.
No.
Undecided.
No, I don't mind it. I think on the players it looks quite nice, but I think put it on, a fan with a big beer belly, it doesn't look so great. but no, I don't hate it.
Okay. Connor, you're sporting one there yourself. What is that? A training kit, or is that what are you wearing there?
Yeah, retro copper.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one, whenever I search for Cardiff worst away kits, this monstrosity comes up. Can anybody remember anything worse than this as an away kit?
I don't think so.
No.
If you can, let us know. Let us know in the comments. That'd be great. What is the worst ever Cardiff away kit? Finally, this week, then we're talking about big losses. Back in the Championship, QPR got battered 7-1 by Coventry. So we're just asking all our teams this week: what's the worst ever drubbing that you can remember seeing live in a stadium, home or away? Might have been a fair few you can remember, but Jamie, you've been there. What's your worst ever drubbing that you can remember that you just wanted for it to be over quickly?
Had to be Leeds last year for me.
Okay.
Everything about it was just like from start to finish was terrible. Manager being in the stands suspended, players all at 6s and 7s being laughed at by the Leeds fans, and you think, oh, just get me home. And obviously then when you go up on transport, like trains and stuff, you think, oh, my train's not for another 3 hours. So there's no escaping the Leeds fans, unfortunately. But 7-0 at Leeds last year, that was, it got laughable in the end, I think.
Yeah. Anybody better that?
No, not so much the scoreline. The one sticks out when we went to Derby, it was only 3-0. But when it got called off because of the snow originally, and then when it got replayed, we got temped 3-0 up there. That was an awful ground to be in. You want to get out there quick.
Yeah.
So I think they had a lot of injuries when we were meant to play them, and we probably would have won. They were all back end when it got played and we got temped.
Slow game.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Right, let us know in the comments then what's the worst away shirt if we've got that wrong, and can you remember any drubbings? We'll read some of these out on next week's show. Of course, next week we're also talking about the Plymouth game, and we'll review how we got on against Cheltenham as well. And if you're just coming across the channel, then look, there's tons of fantastic Cardiff content there that you can listen to for 40 minutes an hour. If you can squeeze 20 minutes of your week just to listen to these guys review Cardiff games, that'd be absolutely magic. Thank you very much for watching. Drop us a like, drop us a quick subscribe as well, and you can follow all these four on Twitter, and we'll include all their handles in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck in the Cup, good luck against Plymouth. See you in 7 days' time. Have a good one.